Jai Bhim, Jai Mul Nivasi, Jai Savidhan, Jai Bharat. Welcome you all once again to MNT News Network. Today is Sunday, and as all of you know, every Sunday we are organizing various topics for discussion in English. And today also we are going to discuss a very important topic, and that is related with one of the important resource of India. Because as all of you know, youth, particularly youths of India, are as far as the population is considered, it has a huge number among the entire 100% population. So that is the strength basically. And if this strength is particularly channelized or particularly energized in particular things, then definitely this can be a force and that can help us in developing the Indian India as a nation. So considering the importance of youth and the educated class, particularly from the youth, that is the topic that we are going to discuss. What are the educated youth and their responsibilities? That is what we are going to discuss today. And basically, today we had with us Mulnivasi Arhant Patharde sir, who had joined us from UAE, and he is going to deliver his views, particularly on this topic, the educated youth and their what are their responsibilities. So, without wasting time, let me welcome Mulnivasi Arhant Patharde sir to our studio. Sir, welcome to MNT News Network.
Jai,
Jai Bhim, Jai Mul
Jai
Nivasi, Jai
Mulnivasi, sir.
Savidan, Jai Bharat. Yeah. So basically,
Sir,
as far as
yeah.
India is considered, India is basically as far as the population of youth is considered, it is considered as one of the major strength. And as far as education is considered, if the proper education is given to this particular force, then this can create a great force. That is what the overall thinking is. So basically, to start with, we would like to know from you how you can define basically this educated class, whom we can call as an educated class, or how you can define this educated class. What are your opinion, or how do you see, or basically how do you define this particular educated class in your views, sir?
Yes, Ashishjit, first of all, I would like to thank MNT News Network for giving me an opportunity to speak on this important subject, educated youth and their responsibilities. So, excuse me for my voice. Basically, I'm having a cold, so I will try my best to put forth my ideas on this significant topic. So basically, we as an original inhabitants of this country, I mean, the Mulnivasi people of this country been, has been facing this dilemma of education. We all know our all ancestors were an education, were knowledge producers, and in the past, our entire history was full of all those uh, knowledge producing. Uh, Full of knowledge which has given an enlightenment to the world. So we were a giver of education, but something happened in between 1,000 2,000 years where the original inhabitants of this country lost that gem, the education they have lost, and there has been a big gap which later on our ideals has to brought in a social revolution to bring back the education into the original inhabitants. So I will not go too lot. I mean, I will not go too much into the history. So basically, I will just talk about last 200 years, which has impacted us today, which we call as a post-Renaissance period. Uh, so the post-Renaissance period has an impact on our lives as of today. So we will talk about, I mean, what was the uh, uh, what you can say, what was the theory of an education? I mean, how was the education thought about when it was brought in to the British India, when it was ruled by Britishers, and what was there? I mean, before that, before the Britishers came, so how was the education dealt with? So basically this is a very fine line between being educated and being illiterate. So basically these two words are quite important uh, while we move forward into our subject. It is important to understand what do we really mean by education, and then second, what do we have a how do we differentiate between an educated class and a literate class. So basically, the education was brought in. I mean, a disciplined way of teaching has been brought in by the British um, uh, uh, in the post-Elizabeth period. I mean, when after 1857's revolution, the entire Indian peninsula has been uh, reigned by King of UK. I mean, which is the Queen of UK, which is the Victoria. And then further upon, we see there are a lot of commission, lot of education commission, a lot of changes has been brought in during that time. So what the in the pretext that the most of the Indians were not a disciplinedly trained in many of those work where Britishers needed their support. So basically, they brought in a very effective way of training to to educate, uh, to give a learning, to brought in knowledge into the people of India, and later them give them a jobs in terms of you know uh, uh, getting them into the recruitment of clerks and smaller bigger jobs during the British India. So basically, the main aim of bringing the education is to make a literate class who can do some work for the British East India Company. So basically, in the first few period there itself, if we see that lot of upper class, lot of the class at that time who were having a opportunity to get that education from British, they rolled in themselves and got that education, and they started getting recruited into the East India Company and the government and administration, etc. So that had brought some kind of a money, some kind of a power within the upper caste, who have literally, I mean, for many thousands of years, has not given an opportunity to touch the knowledge. So basically, what had happened during that time, that most of this education, this training was given to the a small section of Indians who were, I mean, were identified very well by our social reformer like Jyotiba Phule, that this upper caste has never has given an opportunity to read Vedas or whatsoever, what all the the knowledge production which Brahmins and made in this country. So during that time, the education, this kind of training need to be given to the other parts of the society, like uh, the today's scheduled caste, as we talk about, OBC, as we talk about. So all these sections who were deprived of education were given a training. So let us talk about for some time that this education was nothing but a training to work under administrative British. So that is what I mean. The very important point which Jyotiba Phule has brought in, I mean, in his own poem, that Vidya Vina Gati Gili and Gati Vina Shudra Khatare. I mean, the backward lost everything just because of this training. If this training could have been brought in long back, the deprived position of the Shudras, the deprived position of the backward class would have been not that worst. So basically, he sowed the seed of that revolution. However, Jyotiba Phule himself was not too much literate. He had some kind of a primary and secondary education. Somehow he tried to got it during the British India, and with the help of that small literacy, he wrote number of books. He has tried to give a knowledge. He has started producing the knowledge, giving back to the backward classes, trying to uh, bring a renaissance within the backward classes, to tell that what is their rights, what is how they need to take this information into their hands, and take the very important positions in the British India. And not only, I mean, then Jyotiba Phule tried with various commissions like Hunter Commission about education, giving a uh, you know uh, giving space for the backward classes to go learn and get them recruited into the administrative phases, and let them sit beside the upper caste of that time, so that, I mean, he very well understood and had been shown it to the Britishers that there is a sea difference between upper caste and the backward classes of this country. That there is some kind of a backward class who has been kept away from the knowledge production. So
Right.
basically, that was the importance of education that time. The main focus was to make more and more literate people into the society. Later on, Shahu Maharaj also has put in great efforts that the educated class amongst the backward class need to be given an opportunity, need to be given space. So he started brought in schools, hostels, and laws which can open the gates of education to the backward classes, to the untouchable. So basically, when we take forward from Jyotiba Phule to Shahu Maharaj and then towards Dr. Ambedkar, so the entire phase of literacy, I mean, by the time of Dr. Ambedkar, we see a other backward classes, and uh, untouchables, and has got a good amount of education. They were rolled into the various British Indians, East India companies, or the British India administration. Then there was civil services examination which got started, wherein lot of some of these sections people got an opportunity and work in the British India. So basically, now during the time of this phase towards when we are coming in a social revolutions towards Baba Sahib, the
So, sir,
the
even
understanding
one more
of
thing,
yeah.
as far as these overall forefathers, what you said, like Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar or Shahu Maharaj or Puliji, the entire basically everybody had given thrust on education, and they were expecting something that this education means they were basically knowing the importance of the education because, as you told, Jyotiba Phuleji, he himself studied very less, but still the output he had created from the little knowledge, that impact we can see in the reflections with the writings, as you rightly pointed out. And even Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar also, he emphasized more on education. So basically, there must be some thinking of our forefathers. How do you see that? What was the vision of our forefathers for being an educated class? Because basically, that vision, that why these people were so much interested and so much they were stressing more on giving education to this particular marginalized section who were kept away from the education for centuries, for thousands of years. So how do you see what can be their vision of what were they thinking of creating such educated class?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when we come towards the very near to when the constitution was started making, the very important facets of bringing the education, opening the education gates to the marginalized community, deprived community, and the backward classes, the as well as the upper caste. I mean, as well as the general candidates who were there, to make them understand that education has to be formally brought in, discipline, as well as the various facets of education, to make it secular, to make it moral. I mean, so the people who should get this education should come out of. I mean, as the outcome of this education system is to bring in morality within the citizens, uh, getting them a more secular education rather than into a shallow, a long, enslaving mind kind of a education system, which we see has been 1,000, 2,000 years where they were ruling this country. I mean, they have brought in to enslave the people. So that kind of enslavement should get shattered. So that kind of education system is what the our forefathers were looking for, as well as they were looking for, after getting this education, they should come out of their misery. They should see themselves as a free person. And also, when they get this education, get this jobs, and they are able to earn some money, they should come out and help the other people in the society to come out of the misery. So basically, the first and second part of the education was to bring out the misery from the deprived section, from the backward section, and also give a training to those who were thinking that enslaving is very normal thing. So that enslaving normal thing has been shattered by bringing this kind of an education policy, which is secular, which is moral based, character based, and so that is what the aims of bringing a education system which can make a kind of a citizen which will also take out himself from the misery and help other people from the misery. So basically, that is one and second part of this one, but very important facet of the social revolution which we talk about, the vision which our forefathers, I mean, Foolish Ambedkar, the forefathers who are looking for it, is to this I mean, in India specifically, it is always a fight uh, between a mind of enslavement and a mind of freedom. So basically, this fight has to, I mean, which this fight could not have for last 1,000 to 1,000 years. But now this fight has to be, this need to be given a foundation. So that is why it was seen by them that the people who get educated, who get literate, should should consider uplifting the society and make them aware of their rights and take a lead of paying back to the society once they are very best at their juncture, when they earn better, when they learn better, and when the whole knowledge outside, I mean, in the world is in front of them, to come out and take the very important positions in the administration and give a and give away whatever rights they could secure for the backward class, as well as um, uh, taking out other people with respect of those decisions to bring out from the misery. So basically, that
Right.
was their importance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even this educated class, basically they have after taking the education, they have some different qualities than the illiterate people. So basically, if we see the illiterate person and the literate educated youth or educated person, basically the vision or the thinking or analyzing the things, this starts developing with the educated class, and that might be the thinking of our forefathers that if our people are educated, they can analyze the things, what is happening or how it is happening, and why such things are happening, why only with us. I mean, so many questions they can raise. So,
Yeah,
as
exactly.
you pointed out that after the during the constitution, after the implementation of the constitution, legally this marginalized class got the right of education, and they started taking the education, then taking the basically the overall coming into the employment sector, and then getting means they stood up on their own feet, and then they started developing. So slowly, this educated class within this marginalized section, it had got developed. So from your perspective, I would like to know how means basically now this educated class, this has been developed for almost now 75 years is there after independence. So how do you analyze the development of educated class in the last 75 years, and the impact or the difference you can see between this sector and the sector which was away from the education? So how do you analyze this particular thing?
Yeah, I mean, last 75 years of independence India, wherein the rights enshrined in the constitution has given a right to education, which we have now. Every person has at the moment is literal now. If you see the literacy in past 75 years, for the backward section, if you talk about, it's been increased from zero to, I mean, if you metered it, so from 0 to 70 to 80% of literacy. So that's an amassed, I mean, it's been expanded. This education has been expanded in the in the Indian citizens. I mean, let us talk about the backward classes specifically, which is a bigger chunk in the the Indian strata, in the Indian structured society. So if we today talk about, whether the idea of bringing the educated class is being a success today, what our forefathers, foolish Ahmed, has been thinking about, then it's really a big question to see whether where we are, because we see the social revolution was the main objective, or what we can say, a main uh, mm, uh, a boat which they wanted to sail. So basically, is the boat is sailing today? So it is sailing, but it is also facing a lot of challenges while sailing. So what we see today is the educated class, uh, some section of it has really given a idea, or let's say a leadership, and trying them their best to bring in the I mean, to give them a representative, give them a vision of uh, what our educated people should be doing, giving a direction to where we should move, like fighting for the rights, like being aware of what is the current political, social, uh, uh, socio-political situation in this country. So basically, so some section of this educated people are trying their best to do that, but it is a very fraction of the people who could be able to doing it. So what is a problem that people, the whole lot of people, as I talked about, like 80%, something like that, has not been able to has not been able to hello, yeah, has not been able to give a direction to the whole lot of masses what we have today. It is the main reasons behind is the people who get educated, as we call a literate. Ones who get literate, they are very busy uh, into doing their jobs, but it is very important. So let us talk about what makes an ideal literate. So an ideal literate today is one uh, who do who go through the educational sections. I mean, who become an educated. He gets a job. He lives his a normal life where he earns and I mean gets his bread and butter and lives with his family, and he takes responsibilities of his family. So now this person, we talk about that this is a successful literate, right? He's a successful literate. Now, by going by the definition of an educated class, so this literate has not been able to become a part of the educated class. When we talk about educated class, is whether he is being sharp enough to see what is going on socio politically around him. Is he sharp enough to raise the to raise the rights of the people in the present situation? So basically, getting into the educated class, he need to go to the second level of understanding what is the socio-political situation of this country, as well as see what other people in the around the world is also doing, and give I mean, in that context, help other people to come in and get organized. So in very small word, we say educated, agitate, and organize. So when Baba Sahib said this, educate, agitate, and organize, he didn't stop at being getting educated. He went on to say that unless you agitate for your rights, unless you raise your voice against the enslavement, and all those people who think that this agitation must go on should come together and get organized and work in an organized manner. So basically, what is lacking was the people are not coming under uh, uh, organization which have as objective to work for the masses, to, as we said, to have an hawk eye over the socio-political situation and understand what are the best in what is best in the favor of the maximum classes, which can benefit many people, which can open the gates of education and its benefits. And this kind of importance need to be shown by an educated person. So basically, this all will lack unless the person works in an organized manner. So it is very important that person gets the next level of training to understand what is the social revolution in this country and how this need to be fought in, how this need to be taken forward. So this goal has need to be understood by each and every literate person, specifically coming from the backward classes, specifically coming from uh, a section of persons who is being uh, thrown away from the administration by the ruling government or by the ruling administration or by the ruling society. So this is what I want to say is that the person need to get another level of training to understand the social revolution and make him be part of that social revolution, and then take it forward towards the people as a leadership or intellectual leadership, or let's say educated leadership, to fight for its rights. And we always have to fight for our rights, because there is always a fight between a mind of enslavement and a mind of freedom. So we are talking about to bring in all the people who think about freedom of mind, organize them, getting them a training, and then we can say that the educated class, which our forefathers were trying to do, trying to seek, we are into that kind of that kind of an environment.
Right, sir. Sir, one more thing. Basically, and as far as the today's youth is considered, you are already means in the networking them, or you are already in touch with them. So, how do you see what are the basic potentials today's youth has? Because now the world is entirely of AI, or the social media, or basically much more is happening in this particular field. So how do you see the utilization of these particular youths, or their strength, or their total involvement, if they are particularly trained as you are training, as you had said that if this particular class is given proper training, how it can impact the overall socio-political movement which is running in India, if they give active participation in developing their skills through the help of analyzing the things, guiding the society, making them aware of what is happening and how it is happening and why it is happening. So all these things, how do you see? Can these youth can make a change in the socio-political scenario?
Yeah, we are at a juncture where the world is changing very fast. We can see the AI, the artificial intelligence, chat GPT, and uh, uh, different IT models coming into the space. The information technology has grown uh, immensely in last 5 to 10 years, and it is going to grow in next 10 to 15 years also. So it would be a very interesting period for a educated class coming from a backward section of this country, to how they could be able to get it organized and get it networked amongst themselves, that in coming 20 to 25 years, the battle between enslavement and the battle of freedom of mind should win. So basically it is very important that the people who are now getting the where the information technology has grabs the people, how this information technology, I mean, we from from a mind of a social revolution, how these people can be brought in together, you know to share their resources, to share the time, talent, and treasure amongst themselves, so that the social revolutionary organizations or the social revolutions amongst the masses gets briefed in, gets penetrated, and the strength of our organizations who are fighting for the social revolution get increased. I mean, the strength of this social organization has to be, in coming 10 to 15 years, we have to see how we can bring in, how we can make facilitate information technology with reference to the social revolution, to bring in all the talented people, I mean, all educated people, all literate people, specifically who are going into artificial intelligence in the era of artificial intelligence. It is important in next 10 to 15 years, these people contribute back to the society, this contribute back to the social revolution, contribute back to the organizations who are fighting for the social revolutions, contribute back to the society who is part of that. social revolution. So basically, I see that how this more and more networking we can do with reference to the next generation Z. We are talking about also a generation which is already fly all across the world, abroad, who are into a different level of, we are working into the next level of technology. So how these people can be networked together and brought in under the umbrella of an organization, specifically like BAMCEF, who has its reach all across India, who has this basis of of social revolution, and as well as network with all the people who are coming from different sections of society, who are also residing in different countries. So basically, this networking, we want to network with them and bring them, get in touch with them to understand the social deformation we have still left in this country, and let them organize together and get in connected with socio-political organizations, social or revolutionary organizations, to make the to make the transformed India, make the transformed world in next 15 to 20 years. I feel it would be a very, a challenging task, but we have to take it. We have to get it, this networking done in coming years to come, because that would be a game changer in fighting the social revolution, social transformation in coming days.
Right, sir. Sir, we are almost toward the end of the session. I would like to take your message to our youths and particularly our viewers and particularly the youths. What message you would like to pass on? What expectations are your with today's youth as far as the socio-political movement is considered in India?
Yeah, my what I would say is the youth today has to shed their, shed the uh, the shallowness of seeing the social revolution through a shallow mind. They have to open the minds. They have to see that they are the benefiters of the social revolution led by our forefathers, and this is at a great cost of our forefathers who have fought for it. So basically, that is one. Second, the uh, uh, the social revolution is for opening the gates of knowledge and finance, and taking out the misery. So all these important facets which uplifts the society, so they are part of this a social revolution wherein they got an opportunity to work something for opening the gates of knowledge towards their back to their society. So basically, they should be more aware of their responsibilities as a citizen of India, as well as a, participants of social revolutionary social transformation, history which they had. So, and third, very important, is to be looking forward, not just looking backward, just to look forward. What is coming in front of us, what we are going to face, how we can challenge it, how we can come out of it, how we can give a solution to it. So in that facet, I want, in this three direction, our youth should come out and participate in a transformation, in the transformation which our forefathers try to give a baton to us, and take this baton forward and work towards networking the educated youth and learned youth to work towards benefit of the society. So that is it.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for expressing your views and delivering your views on this particular topic, which is very important basically because our forefathers, they have a lot of expectations from the educated youth, and you had quite explained this topic in detailed one. So basically, we are really thankful to you on behalf of MNT News Network to spare your valuable time with us and to be with us on this particular topic. We hope in future also you will guide us and give us information on various different topics. Thank you very much for joining. And before going, let me congratulate you for being appointed as a MNT International Coordinator for this 2 years. For this,
Thank you. Thank you
for
for
this
giving me
particular
an
course.
opportunity, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Thank you,
much for
sir.
joining today, and we will again see you in another day with another topic. Thank you very much, sir. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
So it was Mulnivasi Arhant Patharde, sir, who had joined us from UAE, who is recently appointed as an BAMCEF international coordinator, and he will be working towards this particular post and spreading the fully embedded movement in outside India. So the topic that has been discussed today is very important, and this particular video will be there in this link. So kindly share this link within your entire social media so that everybody will come to know about this particular information. And thank you very much for joining today. We will again meet tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Till then, Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi, Jai Savidhan, Jai Bharat. Thank you very much.